Hello guys, welcome to the first Testing Tuesday session. Today we are going to be looking at trunk testing with the focus of muscular endurance in mind. So the England under-19s programs, which is the Young Lions, which is what most young male cricketers aspire towards, have a series of tests they put in place. Now some of them are based around muscular endurance and work capacity, it's called, and one of them specifically we're going to look at today is the side plank. Now where I've been up in Glasgow, I've been seeing a good friend of mine called Jonathan Harris Wright, who is a strength and conditioning coach. He works for Glasgow Warriors currently, and in his previous times he's worked with Bristol Bears. Here's Johnny now to talk us through the side plank.
How you doing, guys? Just a couple of key technical points on the side plank test, but this is also applicable obviously when you're training for the side plank. So the first thing we want to think about is the positioning, in particular here, just our elbow. So we want to make sure that it's underneath our shoulder, just helps alleviate any extra stress on the shoulder when we're holding the plank position. The other thing we want to think about is our body position, so looking to have a straight line all the way from the heel through to our head, or head to heel, strong as steel. So we want to make sure that it's not just through our trunk or our hips that we're thinking about. We want to have a nice neutral body all the way through, and then with that in mind, the head position is actually really relevant. So as we're holding it, making sure that you're not letting your head drop to the side, you want to try and keep a nice neutral spine all the way through the body. Then when you're holding the plank, and particularly when you start to get fatigued or tired, you want to think about your rib position. So making sure that you don't either flare your ribs up or kind of start tucking down. Again, as we talked about, that kind of neutral trunk position becomes really key to be able to hold and be strong in that position. Then from the side point of view, you want to think about where your hips are, again, in that kind of straight line. So as we fatigue, making sure we don't let our hips get pushed out to the back. We want to make sure we push our hips through to keep a nice neutral trunk position. And then the final thing, which is really important, particularly with isometric exercises like this, is making sure you have nice controlled breathing. So as we're holding that position, really trying to make sure it's important to avoid holding your breath. Not only is it dangerous if you do it for long enough, because you could actually black out, but it'll help you hold a better posture when you're doing other activities. Then, if you can get used to having controlled breathing under fatigue.
Thanks for that, Johnny, much appreciated. Now the under-19s are looking for 120 seconds or 2 minutes for the muscular endurance test to get the green light on making sure that you're robust enough to be able to be a cricketer for the Young Lions. Now, that's a very difficult time for someone who is a lot younger. So when you're looking at under 10s, 11s, 12s, that may not be something that's achievable at that stage. And then also within the women's game, they look for some different tests as well. So what we're going to have a look at now is we're going to have a look at the front plank, which is one that's slightly easier for younger ages to start working on. But it's also what the RDC programs that were in place prior to the new centres of excellence coming in were looking for as one of their tests. Now again, we're looking for 120 seconds on this, so 2 minutes. Have a little look at some of the pointers that we're going to put out here and then see how you get on. Very similar technical points here as to what Johnny mentioned. We're looking for a nice flat back and to ensure that we control our breathing. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully that gives you a few ideas about what you can do in your spare time at home and how you can go about your practice. In future weeks, we'll have a little look at some of the things that may be specific to fast bowling that counties and other areas practice and develop to make sure their fast bowlers are fit and robust to be able to bowl lots of spells very quickly. Make sure you give us a like on Twitter and Instagram, and then subscribe on YouTube as well. Thank you.